The book of Joshua presents a pivotal moment in the story of the Israelites, marking a significant transition in their journey. After 40 long years of wandering in the wilderness, enduring hardships and trials, they were finally entering the Promised Land, a place of hope and fulfillment. This land was not merely a geographical location, it was a symbol of God's covenant and faithfulness to his chosen people, a tangible representation of his promises. The allocation of the land was a meticulous process, overseen by Joshua, who was entrusted with this sacred duty. He was chosen by God to lead the Israelites into this new chapter, guiding them with wisdom and strength. Manasseh, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, held a unique position among the tribes. As the firstborn son of Joseph, Manasseh was given a double portion of his father's inheritance, a significant blessing that set them apart. This blessing resulted in the tribe being divided into two halves, each with its own distinct territory. One half settled on the east side of the Jordan River, establishing their communities and way of life. The other, known as West Manasseh, received its inheritance on the west side, thriving in the fertile lands of Canaan. This division, rather than weakening the tribe, served as a testament to its strength and growth, showcasing their resilience and unity. The story of Manasseh is one of courage, faith, and the enduring power of family, illustrating the deep bonds that held them together. It speaks to the challenges and triumphs of a people striving to claim their inheritance, overcoming obstacles with determination. It highlights the importance of God's law in ensuring justice and fairness, even in a patriarchal society, guiding them in their daily lives. It is a story that continues to resonate thousands of years later, reminding us of the importance of perseverance, courage, and unwavering faith, values that transcend time and culture. Chapter 17 of the book of Joshua delves into the specifics of West Manasseh's inheritance. The land was not simply given as a single entity, instead it was carefully divided among the different clans within the tribe. This division ensured that each family within Manasseh had a stake in the Promised Land. It reinforced the idea of shared heritage and collective responsibility. The text meticulously lists the sons of Manasseh and their corresponding territories. Each clan received a specific region. This region was named and its boundaries defined. This detailed allocation served not only as a practical guide for settlement, but also as a historical record. It solidified the lineage and inheritance rights of each clan. Among the sons of Manasseh, we find Abiezer, Helek, Asriel, Shechem, Shemida, and Hefer. Each of these names represents a branch of the Manasseh tribe. Each one inherited a portion of the land. Their stories, though not explicitly detailed in the text, are woven into the larger narrative of Manasseh's journey. They serve as a reminder that history is made up of countless individual stories, each contributing to the grand tapestry of a people. Within the narrative of inheritance and land allocation, the story of Zelophehad's daughters emerges as a shining example of courage and the pursuit of justice. Zelophehad, a descendant of Manasseh, died without leaving a male heir. In ancient Israelite society, this presented a significant dilemma. Without a son to inherit his land, Zelophehad's lineage faced the risk of being forgotten. His daughters would be left without an inheritance. However, the 5 daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah, refused to accept this fate passively. They boldly approached Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders, and the entire assembly. They presented their case with conviction. They argued that their father's name should not be blotted out from his clan simply because he had no sons. Their courage in challenging societal norms is remarkable. Their plea was not merely a matter of personal gain. It was a matter of preserving their father's legacy and ensuring their rightful place within their tribe. The Lord listened to their plea and declared that Zelophehad's daughters were to inherit their father's land. Their case set a precedent, demonstrating that God's law is just and compassionate. It considers the needs of all and ensures fairness, even in situations that might appear to have none. Section 4. Boundaries of Blessing, tracing the borders of Manasseh's land. The book of Joshua provides a detailed account of the geographical boundaries that defined Manasseh's territory. These boundaries were not arbitrary lines on a map. They represented the limits of their inheritance. Within these boundaries, the descendants of Manasseh were to establish their homes, cultivate the land, and build a future. Their territory extended from Asher to Michmatath, which faced Shechem. It stretched southward to the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but the town of Tappuah, on the border of Manasseh, belonged to the Ephraimites. The border then descended westward to the brook of Kanah. Within this territory lay cities that would become significant in the history of Israel. The text mentions Beth-shan and its towns, Ibleam and its towns, Dor and its towns, the inhabitants of Endor and its towns, the inhabitants of Taanach and its towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its towns. These cities were not just names on a map. They represented strategic locations, fertile lands, and access to important trade routes. They held the potential for growth, prosperity, and influence. Section 5, A Land Yet to be Won, the challenge of the Canaanite presence. While the land had been allocated and its boundaries meticulously defined, the Israelites soon discovered that inheriting the promised land was not simply a matter of receiving a deed or a title. The land was already inhabited by various Canaanite tribes. These tribes were well established, having lived there for generations. They were not about to relinquish their territory without a fight. The Canaanites were prepared to defend their homes and their way of life fiercely. This reality presented a significant challenge to the Israelites. They had to strategize and prepare for battles they had not anticipated. It tested their faith and their resolve. The Israelites had to come together as a community, relying on their shared beliefs and determination. The book of Joshua recounts how the descendants of Manasseh were unable to drive out the inhabitants of certain cities. Despite their efforts, some cities remained under Canaanite control. The Canaanites persisted in the land, continuing their daily lives amidst the ongoing conflict. This presence of the Canaanites served as a constant reminder that the promised land was not theirs by default. It was a land that had to be actively fought for and claimed. It had to be fought for with courage and determination. It had to be claimed through persistent effort and unwavering faith. This struggle was not merely a physical one. It was deeply spiritual, involving the very core of their beliefs and values. It was a spiritual battle as well, requiring the Israelites to stay true to their faith and their God. The Israelites were called to remain faithful to their God, to uphold their covenant and trust in divine guidance. They were to resist the temptations of the Canaanite culture, which often clashed with their own beliefs and practices. This challenge would become a recurring theme in the history of Israel. Time and again they would face obstacles that tested their faith and unity. It serves as a reminder that the journey of faith is often fraught with obstacles. The path to fulfilling their destiny was neither easy nor straightforward. Overcoming these obstacles requires unwavering commitment and a reliance on God's strength. The Israelite story is one of perseverance, faith, and the enduring power of their spiritual convictions. Section 6. The Power of Perseverance, Joshua's Charge to Ephraim and Manasseh. Faced with the formidable presence of the Canaanites, the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh could have easily become disheartened. The Canaanites were known for their strength and their advanced weaponry, which included the fearsome iron chariots that struck fear into the hearts of many. However, Joshua, their leader, delivered a powerful message of encouragement and exhortation. He stood before the tribes, his voice steady and filled with conviction, as he sought to bolster their spirits and renew their resolve. He reminded them of their strength, both physical and spiritual. He spoke of their past victories and the courage they had shown in the face of adversity. He spoke of their God's unwavering support, emphasizing that their faith was their greatest weapon. He reminded them that their God had never abandoned them and had always guided them through their toughest battles. He challenged them to rise to the occasion, to not let fear dictate their actions. He urged them to remember their purpose and the promises that had been made to them. Joshua acknowledged the might of their enemies, not to instill fear, but to prepare them for the reality of the battle ahead. He wanted them to be aware of the challenges they would face. He recognized the Canaanites had iron chariots, a symbol of their military prowess and technological advancement. These chariots were a significant threat, but Joshua did not waver. He knew they were strong, but he also knew that the strength of Ephraim and Manasseh, combined with their faith, was greater. But he also reminded Ephraim and Manasseh that they were not alone in this fight. They had each other, and they had the support of the other tribes. "You are a large population and very strong," Joshua declared. His words were meant to instill confidence and a sense of unity among the tribes. "You will not have only one lot, but the mountain regions will also be yours." He spoke of the land that awaited them, a land that was rich and fertile, but also challenging to conquer. "Although it is overgrown with forests, you will clear it, and its farthest limits will be yours, for you will drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots and are strong." His words painted a picture of determination and hard work, but also of ultimate victory. His words were not merely words of encouragement, they were a call to action, a rallying cry for the tribes to take up their arms and fight for their promised land. They were words of faith, meant to remind the tribes of the divine support that was always with them. They were a call to action, urging the tribes to move forward with confidence and determination. They were a reminder that with God on their side, no obstacle was insurmountable. Joshua's message was clear. Faith and perseverance would lead them to victory. This message resonated deeply with the Israelites. It gave them the strength and courage they needed to face their enemies. It continues to inspire us today. The story of Joshua's charge is a timeless reminder of the power of faith and perseverance. It reminds us that perseverance, coupled with faith, can overcome even the most daunting challenges. No matter how insurmountable the obstacles may seem, with determination and belief, we can achieve great things.